Hi, I'm Larry McAtee, Ward 3 City Councilman. What a delight it is, a privilege, to have as our guest on this Christmas season show, Carlon Tschetter, pastor of Southwest Covenant Baptist Church. Carlon, thank you so much for coming down.
You bet, it's good to be here.
Now, some of our viewers don't know exactly where Southwest Covenant is, but you kind of have a personality conflict out there of what mailing address and what actual city you're in.
Yeah, we do. In fact, even with our name, Larry, we're really Covenant Community Church. Our school is Southwest Covenant School, and we're on what used to be Mustang Road. Now it's been changed to Yukon Parkway. We are located on one of the farthest west parts of the city of Oklahoma City, so the church is located in Oklahoma City. Across the street to the west is Yukon, across the street to the north is Yukon, to obviously our east is the city, and to the south is the city, so we're out there in the outskirts of Oklahoma City area.
Now, you've been in Oklahoma for how long?
Yeah, we are actually, we came in '91, so we've had a good, wonderful stretch of years, and it's gone by very fast, but we've been here for over 22 years now.
And since you've been the pastor out there, you have touched a number of lives in all of these areas, Yukon, Oklahoma City, and you have a tremendous worldwide ministry also.
Yeah, it's been really exciting. Obviously, a part of our heritage at Covenant, when I came, was just a real sense of the world that we live in and the needs of our world. So there's been a strong mission outreach literally around the world. We have about 33 families, missionaries that we're supportive of in all parts of the world. And then we do a lot of things within our own community. You know, it's so easy for a church, and we struggle with it just like anybody else, to kind of turn inward and take care of yourself. But, you know, we really want to fulfill what we believe is God's call, which is to go. I mean, that was obviously the last thing Jesus said, wasn't it, to his disciples, was to go into all the world. And so that's what we try to do. That's our heart, and we do a lot of different things within our community and as well within the city to try to bring that good news that Christ has given to us to share, especially in this season of the year.
Well, and that's what we want to kind of focus in on today, and we want to do that. And those of you that are watching, we're not trying to bring attention or try to brag about what goes on at Covenant, but we're trying to encourage you to think about how you can minister. And some of the things that you're involved with, Thanksgiving, you have a special ministry that's been going on for several years.
Yeah, it really came to us a few years ago that the volunteer chaplain at the Canadian County Jail came and said, you know, the prisoners out there are not going to have a traditional Thanksgiving meal. It's not in the budget for the jail. We understand that. There's constraints there that everybody faces, but he had the idea that if we could provide a meal that would be really special for the prisoners. And so we started doing that a number of years ago, and we have the families of our church that do everything but the turkey. And we load all of that up and take it out there to them, and it's just been a really neat thing. Our folks have really responded to that. We put a pretty extensive list out every year of what we're going to need, and the Covenant family just jumps in there and bakes pies and rolls and dressings and salads, and really makes it a special day for some folks that are, you know, obviously in a difficult spot in their life.
Now, and you've gotten some letters back just recently on that. How about sharing a couple of the thoughts?
They, you know, it's kind of a neat thing. The chaplain just gives them an opportunity to take a piece of paper and just write us a little note of thanks. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a day that they get to do some maybe things differently than they normally do as being in that circumstance, but boy, are they thankful for what it is that has come to them just in the simplicity of this meal. And so they write back, and I you know, one of the notes that comes to mind was a mom who was separated from her children for probably the first time, it sounded like, in her life, and she was obviously in a spot where she had made a bad decision, and yet now, as she was receiving this expression of love, she was just very grateful that somebody had remembered her. And that was really the theme all the way through these letters. We just got a stack of letters from them, and they were all so grateful for just somebody remembering them. And again, they're in a difficult place in their life circumstance, and their families are. So it was kind of neat to just bring a blessing into their life.
And some of them mentioned then that they have made some bad choices.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, they know. You know, we do angel tree ministry as well to families of children who have incarcerated parents, and you know, it's easy to look at some of these life circumstances that people find themselves in, and to be somewhat judgmental of what has brought those things about. And but most of the time, I think in just reading these comments and hearing from these family members, they realize that they've made some bad choices. And so now at this point, what we get to do is really just be the arms and the hands and the voice of Christ in their life, and bring some encouragement their way, and just let them know people love them and care about them even though they're in a difficult spot.
and give them some hope that there's a better way, better future out there.
Absolutely, absolutely, because there's enough stuff going on that's negative in their life at that point that it's good to see a smile on their face just with some simple ways that we can show that to them.
Now, the Thanksgiving ministry and in the Angel Tree are focused right at Thanksgiving season and the Christmas season, but you have a ministry going year-round with some of the folks in Yukon that are challenged.
Yeah, yeah, it's over 10 years now. I think they're probably in their 11th year. It's called Reach Ministry, which is a ministry to an apartment complex within the city of Yukon, where there's just some people that have found a difficult place in their life. And so we have the opportunity to go over there every Monday. We go over, a group of folks from our church and from some other churches that join with us on that. They go over and they kind of do well, it's called their church for them. I mean, it's really a Monday church, but it's just a club time for the children. They play some games, they share some stories, obviously, from the Bible with these children. We have an ongoing ministry in their lives throughout the year, helping out maybe with some clothing needs, coats during the winter. We just try to be responsive to again, people who are less fortunate and just in a difficult life circumstance. So it's been a major blessing, and to see again how the hope that Christ can bring into people's lives can just lift them up in a way that nothing else can.
Now, off camera, before you used the word transition, these folks, a lot of them have a lot of transition going on in their lives.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you know, some of them are looking for a new job situation. Some of them, their family itself is in transition. Some pretty difficult circumstances that way. Some of them are just at a point where you know, they don't really have a lot of hope, and so they have found themselves just reaching out and wondering, you know, who does care, and does anybody know? And so it's really neat to see the folks go into that circumstance and just love unconditionally on these children and on the parents as well.
And now you also have in the summertime a mission emphasis in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, you know, our student ministry has gone down into the inner city here. We team up with a Hispanic church every summer and do some things with them, which has been a neat thing because they get to go and be a part of a setting where they can, again, just touch lives in a way that is really a blessing to everybody. But we partner with a ministry right here in the inner city of Oklahoma City, where our students come down for 2 or 3 days in a row and just really give physical help to people and to situations that maybe they need their house painted or some yard work done or just minor repair things that they can do. It's almost a little bit of an urban renewal push of trying to, again, just give people a hand to help them in a way that maybe they need at that point.
Well, one of the blessings we have in Oklahoma City is the fact that our faith community, which Covenant represents, is out there meeting practical needs and trying to help people and show them a better way and show them hope. As you reflect back, here we sit at Christmas time. If you had a message that you'd like our viewers to hear, what would that be?
Yeah, you know, almost every Christmas I go to that wonderful statement in Galatians 4 where the Apostle Paul says, in the fullness of time, when the fullness of time was come, God sent forth his Son, born of a woman, born under the law. And it really just reminds us of how human history was changed when God sent His Son, when the fullness of time was come. So all of the events that God providentially was orchestrating came to the right time, and that was the time that God changed human history forever. And that's the message of Christmas for us, is that God sent His Son to be the Savior of the world. And for God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever would believe in Him would not perish but have everlasting life. So it's a message filled with hope in the midst of a world that is oftentimes looks pretty hopeless.
Speaking about hope and a world facing some challenges,
Yeah.
as our people look to 2013, what kind of a message would you have for them?
Yeah. Yeah, you know, with everything that's going on in our world right now, in terms of just our own national situation and just internationally, there's about as much uncertainty out there as probably you and I can imagine in a while. And with uncertainty, there's always anxiety and a sense of fear. And, you know, as you go to 2013, again, a wonderful statement in Romans chapter 15, where the Apostle Paul says, "May the God of hope give you all peace and joy." And you know, you put those thoughts together, the God of hope is really what we have, don't we? I mean, we can offer people, instead of despair, a sense of hope. And with that God of hope, there comes that promise of all joy and peace that comes with that. So what an incredible time we live in. Challenges, absolutely, but opportunities abound as well. And you know, if we can just give to people an understanding that in themselves and in their circumstance, there may not be a lot to hold on to at any given time, but with God, there is great hope, and there's great opportunity out there. So that's what we want to do as we go into 2013. We want to exchange that uncertainty with certainty, and we want to exchange that despair with a sense of hope. Again, not in ourselves and what we can do, but in God and in what He has done for us through His Son.
Carlon, we appreciate that message, because that's in effect what we're trying to do here in Oklahoma City, is provide hope for our citizens and to communicate that, hey, our best days lay ahead. And we are blessed people,
Yeah.
but with that blessing comes responsibility, and we need to be reminded of what's really important at this time of the year.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming down. Thank you for what Covenant does to add to our community, and thank you for watching. And may you catch the enthusiasm, the commitment, the faith in these challenging times. Let's replace despair with hope. God bless you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thank you for watching.